My name's Caleb. I'm a singer-songwriter from the UK, now living here in Montreal. Founder of the Caleb Collective. C stands for community. I'm all about community, and I understand the importance of community. A stands for ambition. Let's dream big. Dream big, don't be afraid to dream big and go after those ambitions. L is the middle letter and it stands for love. Everything revolves around love. It says God is love, and without love, things are just meaningless and just can be like a clanging cymbal. So love, that's the centerpiece that holds everything together. E, enjoyment. If you don't enjoy it, don't bother doing it. Like, it's got to be enjoyment. There's no such thing as a joyless relationship with the Lord. So enjoyment and belief, whether that's your faith or believing in yourself, believing that you can, and that He's with you and He's for you. So that's my 5 principles based on Caleb, and yeah.
Cool. So how did you get into music? Like, what made you start?
As a youngster, all I wanted to do was be a professional rugby player, and that didn't quite work out, and I found myself at a point in time where I was working security on the doors of the bars, local bars and the pubs, and I'd see these musicians playing on the stage, and I was like, man, they are having so much fun. I want to have a go at that. And my buddy who I was working with, he booked a singing lesson with the lead singer of the band who was playing that night, and the next day we went and had a singing lesson, and he took me to the side afterwards. He said, listen, I know this was all a bit of a joke and a bit of fun, but he says, you actually got some potential. He says, if you want to pursue this, he's like, oh, man, I will help you out. Like, we'll come and do some lessons. I'll teach you how to sing and play guitar, and we'll put it into a package and get you on the scene working. And that's what I did. I took those steps and haven't looked back since, really. And then as I was learning to sing, I was going through a rough patch, and so my dad invited me into a prison where I used to go to church on a Sunday, into Reading Prison. And I used to go in there and I used to write songs about my own testimony, my own life struggles, my own battle with the ups and downs of life. And the guys in there used to encourage me, and they say, man, your songs are really helping me, like, I love coming on a Sunday and hearing you play, and because they gave me an opportunity to play my songs on a Sunday, so yeah, that's how I started, and that's how I got into it. And then from there it was open mics and booking some bar gigs, and here I am.
What was it like to write your first song?
Yeah, I guess I always say this, that I struggle to write songs that I don't connect with, that aren't personal experiences. But having said that, I don't think I've really tried to write songs that are not personal experiences. But yeah, that's where the majority of my songs will come from, personal experience, deep testimonies, and I guess it's a way that this is what art is a way of expressing, letting it out. And so you just dive deep and you're just honest and sincere, and you put it down and turn it into a song. It just came kind of natural to me. My dad's a songwriter as well, so I heard him write songs, and yeah.
Do you usually write the lyrics first? Is it like...
I'm a music man. Like, I'm all about music. I'm all about rhythm and beats. Growing up, when I was listening to songs, like, I'd never know the lyrics. Like, everyone's singing the lyrics to the song. I don't have a clue what the song is, like, the lyrics wise, but I knew the beat, I knew the melodies. That's what I hear. I hear sounds and melodies. So I'd usually come up with a chord structure first, and then I'd start writing on that. So the feel of the music really inspires me to start writing. There's very rarely that I've done it the other way around. But some people do, and maybe I will in the future.
So where did the lyrics come from?
So usually my songs will come from personal testimonies. I find it hard to write songs about just any old thing. So it's usually come from personal experiences, and it's just about getting that out, being so vulnerable, and just letting out your emotion of those experiences, those testimonies, and sharing them with people. And you just never know what it's gonna do for someone. I had the experience at the beginning of going into prisons and singing songs in prisons, and people in prisons were telling me, man, your song's helping me in this place right now. And like, wow, like, that's cool. Like, I wasn't writing a song for them, I wrote it for me. I was letting it out, but they connected to it and it helped them. So I've heard Rick Rubin say, you make art for yourself, you don't make it for other people, but if you're true to yourself, someone's going to connect with that, And so that's what I try and do, is put the focus on my deep inner experiences and try and put them into a song. Wings as Eagles is basically based on a scripture. It's Isaiah 40:31, and it says, those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength and mount up on wings as eagles. So I wanted to use that verse for a specific reason. The story goes that in December 2018, I was working in a barbershop, and in the barbering world, it can get very busy and very hectic in your days. You're just cutting client after client, and especially if you start running late, start backing up, and then you can be pushed for time. So whenever you get a break, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go and eat now. That's what I'm gonna do in that little break. And so we had a place next door, and I had a break, had a busy day, I had a break, and I was just walking out the door, and this guy came walking in, and he looked like he was rough, he looked like he was off the streets a bit, and I was like, oh man, like, I gotta cut this guy. And all I could think was like how hungry I was, and I was about to go and eat, when you're set on doing something and then something changes. And I was like, I knew there was no one else there to cut him, so I was like, okay, I'll cut you. And like, very reluctantly in my heart, I was just like, "Argh." So I sat him down and started cutting his hair. And then he started sharing with me how he'd been suffering with addiction, and that Jesus had changed his life. Getting into a relationship with Jesus had changed his life. And as soon as he said that, I just felt convicted in my heart, and I was like, wow. I was like, there was me just thinking about how hungry I was in my belly. And yet now I'm just having the greatest conversation I probably ever had in the barbershop with this guy who I can really relate to, going through the prison, going to the prisons and relating through other people's experiences like that and my own experience. And it was the best conversation I had. And man, this guy really blessed my soul that day. I didn't tell him anything about what was going on in my family life, or I didn't really speak much about myself. It was all about him. And he walked out that door, and he didn't have my number or anything like that. And all I know is, like, maybe he was going to come back for another haircut. Like, that was it. Fast forward to January, end of January, Dad was sick, and he had cancer, and he eventually passed at the end of January. And in the funeral home, trying to decide and organize the funeral, and we were trying to think of a verse to put on the front of the program there. Dad loved eagles. Like, he had an eagle tattoo. He had eagles, pictures of eagles, like, everywhere. Everything was eagle. There's eagles on chains. There was eagle brooches. There was eagle pictures. And he was really into these eagles. I never asked him about the eagles, actually. And I wish I could have. Anyway, we're sitting there trying to organize, like, what's going to be in the pot in the front. In his wallet, they found the gifts of the Spirit, the verses of the gift of the Spirits in Galatians. He was like, yeah, okay. But I remembered as a kid, I was like, man, I had this t-shirt. I used to go to this Christian camp, and I had this t-shirt, and it had this eagle on it, and it had a scripture on it. And I was like, man, what was that scripture? So I got on my phone and I was looking up, and come across Isaiah 40:31. And I was like, man, I said, what about this verse? And everyone agreed. They were like, yeah, that's a great verse. So we're going to put an eagle and Isaiah 40:31 on the front of the program. So comes the day of the funeral. We're all leaving. Everybody's wearing eagle. Mum's got a chain on with an eagle on and an eagle brooch. And we're driving, and then Melissa goes, oh, I forgot my eagle. So we had to turn around and get this other eagle. And there's just like eagles everywhere. You get the picture. And so we had the funeral and everything. About 3 days later, I went back to work. And I'm just in the barber shop cutting someone's hair. And who walks through the door? It was Andre, this guy who I cut before Christmas. And Andre's holding this frame, but it's got his back to me. I couldn't see the picture. And he just walks in and he's like, Brother Caleb. He's like, man, I just wanted to come and encourage you and give you this. And he turned it around, and this guy had drawn an eagle, and he'd put it in a frame. He'd made this wooden frame, put it in a frame, and on the bottom he'd put the scripture, Isaiah 40:31. And I was like, man. So I was crying just like this. And I had to go out the back and just take a moment. And I came back and I was like, Andre, you don't know what this means to me. I think the reason it meant so much was because the religious institution that I've been brought up in, I wasn't sure where my dad stood with God, like in a relationship. So what religion was teaching me was like, maybe he's not okay. I'd never have a conversation, about God. I had never had a conversation about God with him, so I didn't know where he stood. All I knew is a great human being. And God knew my heart. And that to me was just God just giving me a sign saying, like, I've got this, like, it's okay. Man, it just moved me so much. And I said, Andre, how is it you've come to drawing this? Like, he was like, man, I started drawing this about 3 days ago. And I wanted to encourage someone with it. And I kept praying. And God kept putting your name in my heart. He was going, Caleb, Caleb, Caleb. And so that day he walked in the shop and he gave me that. And I was just like, wow. Like, I just felt so loved. And God really cares, man. And to think I could have missed all of that because of thinking of my belly, thinking of myself. But God knew what was coming, and God knew how he was going to use people. And if we're just open, we just let ourselves just trust in him and just be submissive to him, can use us in crazy ways that we don't even realize how much that is touching someone else, Andre had no clue. He had no clue what was going on. Didn't know my dad was sick. Didn't know anything about the funeral. So that's how that song came about. I wanted to write a song about that. And so, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it. Room to Leaders. I can't not cry when I talk about it. It's so... it's just moving, And it's real. It's real. And that song was written like back then. Like, we've been sitting on this song for a couple of years now. David Belfay, who produced the song, plays bass with me in the collective. We were just down there recording the video at the same spot. The video is recorded in the same gazebo that we played that song for the first time. And David heard it and he was like, man, afterwards he said, you got to let me produce that song. I was like, yeah, let's go for it. And then we started building it, and then I had that experience with the Lord, and I put music on hold for a little while, and everything went on hold for a little bit there. But it's only recently I've been coming to this place where I've started to do a lot of unlearning in religion and Christianity, unlearning on stuff I've been brought up, my view of God, who he is. And I really feel that he showed me his heart, you know, and it was different to who I thought he was, you know. And so a lot of those lyrics were written before having this experience, you know. And so I was questioning, like, even, I guess I was questioning back then as well, but, you know, was it all a lie, all this time that went by? Deception of the human mind, you know? Like, these lyrics, like, they mean more to me now than they did back then. Like, wow, like, you're getting a revelation on this stuff. And it's just amazing how God works through these things. He can get you to write things down and then shows you the meaning later on. Right. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So that's such a powerful message. Where can people go and support you?
So we released it on all streaming platforms, and that's the best thing you could do is share it, you know, whether it be Spotify or YouTube or on the Instagrams, Facebook, wherever. That's the greatest thing you can do for this song, and it's all about just trying to get it out to the ears, people who relate to it, you know. It's a song that's supposed to encourage, you know, pull us out the darkness, give us a sense of hope, and my music's all about testimonies and uplifting, and this is what I feel this song is, an uplifting song, and it's for everybody, because we're all included in God's love. You can find me on Instagram, the Caleb Collective, and Facebook and YouTube. calebcollective.com. And we're not just musicians as well. It's like, you know, I'm just being surrounded by all types of people, you know, from video editors to you know, photographers to business coaches, like, you know, there's a whole crew of people coming around me, producers, amazing musicians. It's just amazing how the community is building, and I'm all about family. You know, it's a family thing for me, and I want to keep it that way. Family unit moving around as a collective. The Caleb Collective.